You are listening to ChartingWealth.com for Monday, the 23rd of November, 2015. Thank you for all the well wishes. Sorry that I was out last week dealing with a health issue, but it is good to be back and happy to be with you as always here at Charting Wealth. What do we have going on? Well, we had a two-day trend line that had set up over three candles starting at the end of the prior week. And what happened on Monday and Tuesday, we saw how the market continued to trend down, and then we saw toward the end of the week, our last two-day candles, we saw how the market trended back up again. We never had a crossover on the MACD going down. However, our derivative oscillator did gain some speed, but we have green open candles moving up, passing through the down trend line. Now that is a good trigger point actually to start looking at getting into a trend when you never have your MACD, your moving average convergence divergence crossover going down, and then the candles reverse and move back through a pre-existing trend line in the same direction as the prior trend. So pay attention to that. Let's revert back quickly and just look at the 4-hour chart where you can see how on the 18th the market really started moving up strongly back on the 16th of November, but it crossed over moving up on the afternoon of the 18th, then pushed through on the morning of the 19th. Well, actually it pushed through, morning of the 19th of November, the two-day down trend line on the 4-hour chart. Good buy-in point right there, and continued to move up. Always keep that in mind. When you have reversals in patterns and you have a chart that hasn't crossed over, still going up on the big chart, and it moves back over on the short chart, good buy-in point somewhere around 103.78. You would have made $1 already on the total market if you had gotten in at that point. How did you guys do in my absence? Were you paying attention? Were you doing your trades in your fake accounts, of course? Were you doing your practice trades and really learning how to get in to these kinds of rising markets? So it's very important to practice that all the time. Now let's revert back to our two-day chart. We look at SPY. It looks very similar to IYY. It crossed over on the 18th, moving up through the two-day chart, violating that. That was on the two-day trend line on the two-day chart. And again, it never crossed over going down, although the derivative oscillator did. If we drop back to our 4-hour chart, looks very similar to IYY. The total market crossed over going up the afternoon of the 18th and penetrated the two-day trend line. Again, a good buy-in point somewhere around 207.21 on the S&P 500. So again, remember, you always want to trade in the direction of the big chart. If your short chart reverses in the opposite direction of your big chart, is indicated on your big chart by what? The MACD. And then it flips back over on you. Good time to look at getting in. And that happened back this last week on Thursday. The way the market ended up the week was continuing to move up. The afternoon, it stalled out a little bit. That can happen on Fridays. But again, let's continue to pay close attention to what's going on as the week starts on Monday. Now let's revert back to our two-day chart and check out our last of our indexes, the Qs. It also crossed over around the 18th, well, going into the new chart on the 20th, the new two-day chart. Again, no crossover going down, although it got close between the 16th, the 18th, and the 20th, but that never happened. And if we revert back to our 4-hour chart, what do we see? Well, we see a nice clean move up starting back on the 16th, afternoon of the 16th on the Qs. Again, crossover going up on the two-day chart. The 4-hour chart on the afternoon of the 18th and penetrating that morning of the 19th, the two-day trend line. So again, another good buy-in point somewhere on the Qs around 112.86. So hopefully your virtual trades, you made a good one on the Qs potentially. Now lastly, As far as the way we're going to start this week, we want to go to gold. What has gold been doing? Well, our 2-day trend line is just now being violated, although we could have changed that up a lot and made it happen quicker, depending on how we might have redrawn that line. It could have been violated a whole lot quicker than it currently has, but still in a confirmed down move, although it does appear to be bottoming out on gold. But of course, that's the 2-day chart. What do we trade when we look at gold? We, of course, look at our 4-hour chart. And what has that been doing? Well, it's been interesting. Crossed over going up around the 12th, actually in the afternoon of the 12th, and then slid sideways and actually dropped over, but has never crossed over going down. It's continued to slide sideways. So again, if you've been in gold on an up move, you've seen a trigger event around the 12th of November, and then gold did what? It just slid sideways and continues to slide sideways. Continue to watch the MACD. Derivative oscillators gained some steam, and that really happened from some upward movement back on the 19th. So as we go into this week, we can see that our Bollinger Bands have tightened tremendously because it's just been a very short, narrow trading range. But there is still movement for an up move, so continue to watch gold. Acting weird, trying to find some bottom and some legs. So continue to watch it. Let's see where it goes. That bottom has continued to sort of harden itself out. So let's continue to watch that. As we get into this next week, I hope that you have a great week trading. It is good to be back with you. And again, go to chartingwealth.com. You sign up for a newsletter there. Guess what you'll get? You'll get our 15-minute How to Read a Stock Chart video. Plus, you'll get our charting layout for free. It's at freestockcharts.com is where we have that layout actually laid out for you, and we'll send you a link to that. Thanks so much for listening. Thank you again for the best wishes. Good to be back with you. We look forward to jumping right back into the middle of things. Thanks so much from chartingwealth.com.